Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahawahshi, Bahasham Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salute to the hopeful elect, pushing this word in truth and sincerity, hoping to receive mercy from Yahweh, Bahasham Yahawahshi. Now, Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. That's who the world ignorantly calls God. And that is how the name is said in the Paleo Hebrew. The Lord's name is Yahweh, right? Who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahawahshi is the name of his only begotten Son, and that's who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Latinos, we are in fact the Israelites. That's according to the prophecies of the Holy Scriptures. This is the brother Shamar from the GMS Jamaica camp. I hope to hear to that quick listen. I pray this is an edifying one, and it's on the topic of Yahawahshi being the righteous branch. I'll read the first precept. Now, this is in the Old Testament. This is Psalms 40, verse 7. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. And who is the he that's referring to? That's Yahawahshi. So the whole volume of the book, the entirety of the Bible, both the so-called Old Testament and New Testament, is actually speaking of Yahawahshi. A lot of prophecy taking place in the Old Testament, and a lot of the prophecy in the New Testament as well, but also prophecy being fulfilled going on in the New Testament, and the prophecy is speaking of Yahawahshi. Right, verse 8. I delight to do thy will, O my power, yea, thy law is within my heart. Right, so the point is, he comes in the volume of the book, and it's even written in the book of Hebrews, the New Testament. This is Hebrews 10, verse 7. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O Yahweh Bashem or Most High. Right? So, again, Yahawahshi has come to fulfill the prophecy written within the scriptures. A lot of times when Yahawahshi was speaking to the people, whether in dark sayings or telling them plain, he was actually quoting scriptures, because those scriptures were referring to him, and he came to fulfill prophecy, man. And let's on topic, Yahawahshi being the righteous branch. Let me get Jeremiah 23. Right, Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord. So the sheep is referring to the Lord's people, who are the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Latinos. And in current, in current day, that's all we see: the Lord's sheep being scattered by pastors who are not teaching the correct thing. They're believing in other gods, believing in Jesus, and not believing in truth and sincerity, or they believe and they don't know what they really believe. Because when you're going to the scriptures, the God that they worship is very different than the actual God of the Bible. The Jesus that they know is different from Yahawahshi, right? So a lot of nowadays pastors or modern pastors are teaching the people very wrong. They're not going into the Hebrew, they're not going into the Greek, they're not going into the true message of who, like the mystery of the Gentiles. They don't have the right understanding of the scriptures, right? Verse 2, therefore saith the Lord Yahweh of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, saith the Lord. So the Lord has something for those pastors who are teaching the people wrongfully. A lot of them are teaching for filthy lucre's sake. They took the bag. They're not teaching out of sincerity, and a lot of pastors, even if they know, the truth that the Israelites speak, primarily the prophets of GMS, even if the pastors know it, it's not beneficial for them to teach, because a lot of times, the congregation won't return when they hear certain things like women keeping silent in the church, just basic things like that. They choke on that milk, right? Verse 3, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries. That's the elect of the nation of Israel, whither I have driven them. So because Israel was prophesied to be scattered, and they remain scattered to this day, so the Lord is going to have to gather a small number, namely the elect, to save them from the utter destruction that's to come, right? And will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith the Lord, Yahawah Bashem Yahushai. And the Lord has brought those men, through the Spirit that are teaching in truth and sincerity, not for filthy lucre's sake, just teaching in sincerity and a sincere effort to awaken the elect, you know, and so that we can make it out of this current captivity and establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. There are men that are teaching the name of the Lord being Yahweh, the name of his only begotten son Yahawahshi, and those are the names in which salvation is found. Salvation is only for the elect of the nation of Israel. So we have pastors who are teaching, and the elect are hearing and waking up. That's why we're seeing prophecy moving forward, and and we're ultimately getting closer to the Lord Yahawahshi returning. Where are we? Verse 5. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yashai, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper. That righteous branch is Yahawahshi, right? And shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days, Judah, that's the southern kingdom, right, of the nation of Israel, shall be saved, and Israel, referring to the northern kingdom of the nation of Israel, shall dwell safely. So all Israel shall be saved through the elect, that are scattered, that will consist of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And this his name, whereby he shall be called the Lord our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yashai, that they shall say no more, or shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Right? So the gathering of the elect that the Lord will do, by the way, using chariots. It's going to be a grand event. Every eye shall see when the elect is being beamed up right before that sudden destruction, which will be the nukes, the thermonuclear fire coming from the nukes, right? That it's going to be a thing of legend. So no more shall they say that the Lord rescued the Israelites from the hands of Pharaoh out of Egypt, which is a story that many know to this day, right? The new legend moving forward, once the kingdom of Israel or the kingdom of heaven is established, ruled by Yahweh, ruled by Yahawahshi, with the elect, as the governing body. That will be the legend moving forward, that the Lord rescued the Israelites primarily out of that land of the north, which is America, Mystery Babylon the Great, right? That will be the grand saving, the biggest event, that people speak about. Verse 9, it's like a verse 8. But the Lord liveth, which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country. So that bloodline through the elect of that nation will be saved, right? Which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, America, and from all countries whither I had driven them. So the Israelites has been scattered among all nations. So they're going to be a remnant from those nations where the Israelites are scattered that will also be saved, right? And that's what the members of us, members of the hopeful elect, that's what we're praying for. We're praying we're among that number that will be saved in that day, right? And from all countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. And that's when the Lord shall put the Israelites back into that land, right? Not whether not via 1948 charter or agreement, not through anything like that, but the Lord himself will put us in that land in that time, right? So hopefully this is edifying. Just wanted to shed some light that the Lord is Yahawahshi is that righteous branch that is spoken of in the volume of the book, and that is ultimately coming back to not only save the remnant of Israel, that small number, right? But also to deliver judgment as it is written, right? All praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah Bashem Yashai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect.